Hey, what's up, guys? Sorry for the up angle. It's kind of, I don't have a mount or anything for this. I did sign up for this IDPA match, and so I'm going to go for it. Weather's a little bit colder. It's starting to rain, so I don't know how much rain is going to impact the match. It said it's clear. It's in a different area in North Carolina. You can have rain here, and then like half a mile down the road, it's like absolutely clear. So we'll see when we get there. I'm going to go into this match with no expectations other than to see how I can perform just out the gate. I have done IDPA before, just kind of getting, is kind of learning what to do and not to do, really. So performance wasn't super high, just mid-pack. Shooting is good, but you know, learning to where you can take that -1 and move on versus trying to have like these surgical hits, right? Versus looking at the gaming aspect. And I think in USPSA the gaming aspect is even higher, where you can outrun shots that go into the C zone or whatever, right? You can be fast. So today I don't have expectations. I'm just going to go in as a regular yokel with some limited training time, and then see how I do. And it'll be my baseline to go for like the next year. So today I'm going CCP, which is concealed carry pistol. I'm going to my 19 stock, everything except for aftermarket sights, 30 Samari glows, right? Nothing fancy. So I'm gonna see how I do and see what I can glean and take that into my training. I'm gonna see what I revert to, if I revert to target focus or front sight focus. I've been kind of working on both, trying to figure that out. I think up close, I need to definitely target focus. That 8-inch bull is a big bull, so within 5 yards, really looking at that. Because I have done some placement tests where I ended up looking at the target and did good. So just getting my head wrapped around that, not breaking any rules and stuff like that. That's like the biggest thing. I feel like the biggest hurdles, if you don't spend a lot of time dedicating your free time to this, is you got to learn the rules so you don't get DQ'd, or if you don't have a penalty or whatever, you definitely don't want to have misses. So there's a minimum standard of like maintenance skill, but also understanding the game component, so that way that isn't a distraction. You can focus simply on performance. I'll show some previous matches where I did, again, nothing spectacular. Like I'm not a competition shooter, but it's important to have this under your belt at least to. I feel like at least I should, skill level wise, be a certain, like in a certain classification, I guess. And so, you know, I think you do that with classifiers and then do more competition. So it's more stuff I got to learn about, right? It's a lot, but if I feel like I could go to a match, roll up, and I can do half decent, then I'll be okay. But anyway, goal is to have fun. I'm getting sick. I was like, you know, I shouldn't be going out in this weather, but I need the break. I need the mental break. This is my therapy, right? And so going out and doing this, knowing that I'm already going to be sick, you know, fuck it. You know, I'll just be more sick. I don't care, but at least it'll be worth it, because I had to postpone training that was going to happen tomorrow until next Sunday. So I don't want to get my other guys sick, you know, because they've got kids, stuff like that. So I'm always bitching about people bringing their sickness here. Now here I'm going to a match, obviously kind of sick, could be contagious, but I'm also going to try not to be all up on people and shit, keep my distance, and make sure I'm not coughing or getting boogers and whatnot. So anyway, here we go. Let's go into the match and let's see how we turned out, and who knows. And then after that, I'll add some of my other IDPA matches. Again, I'm a nobody as far as competition shooting. Everything that I've been geared toward is home defense, self-defense type shooting, surgical shooting, which has to be fast and accurate. But when you're doing competition, it's more in that performance shooting, which does translate to better tactical shooting. Tactical shooting is just shooting with strategy in mind, right? And so performance shooting is simply just the art of shooting and moving. So this is going to give me some feedback on what I need to work on for the next year, and see how well I do compared to my last match almost a year ago. I don't even remember when it was. It's been a while. And then to my next match, I want to try to do these quarterly, but you know, Biden economics, build back better bullshit, right? It sucks for everybody. It's very expensive. So anyway, let's get into the video.
The transition, then the holster. That's 483, 4083. Holster. 631, 631.
Where'd you spot from?
I've been a marksman for about almost a year now. So. 856. Stand by. If you're finished and let it clear, clear side forward, trigger, holster. Range is clear. That was a 417.
All right, so I got to the match and people were already shooting. So practice score said 1 o'clock start time. Apparently the email it said 12 o'clock. So luckily they were having some malfunctions with one of the falling targets, and I was able to get in and start shooting. So I shot the match. I felt like I did pretty good. I did a lot of like target focus shooting. However, I don't think I did a great job. I could definitely tell where my eyes were, and so I think getting that like laser focus versus kind of just looking at an area. I did have several procedurals and things like that where I just like forgot things or fucked stuff up. It's been a long time, right? Like on the first stage, I completely forgot to shoot a target twice. It was two targets and one center of the head. For some reason, I just put one in the head and then hit the other two. So that put me in a weird reload for another part of the stage. But stuff like that, or you know, just procedural things. I had a few misses. One that went into the barrel that was right next to the target. So I don't know what my score is yet, and this is just kind of like going after the fact. It's pretty chilly and it rained a little bit, sprinkled on and off. So I felt pretty good about my equipment. I did fumble a couple of reloads. I felt like my hands were stiff. I'm used to that extended slide release from my Glock 17, so I'll probably look to upgrade that. I did get a chance to shoot a classifier at the end, and I classified a sharpshooter with a CCP. So, and I did not attempt it twice because I got to go home because his wife has been with her kid by herself for a while, so I need to get back. So, responsible adult stuff, right? So, as far as equipment, stock Glock 19 Gen 5, they're Ameriglow aftermarket sights, just a high vis orange with front glow. I think they're the Hackathorn, just because I liked the backs being blacked out, so you have more of a focus on the front sight. Magazines are all stock Glock magazines. My Mag Caddy is just a Safari Land 2 Mag Caddy, clips onto your belt. Super simple. So things to work on for this time around that I really want to focus on. I want to keep it limited to a few things, because you can think of all this stuff ahead of time, but in the moment you're just going to be like, I'm going to keep it two and go, and all the targets that are appropriate for that, which are the little pow-pow guns. If you see like a rifle in there, you have to get 3. And then, yeah, basically that's my big one. See how much time I save doing that, and not over confirmation. Trust that I can get it. So I'm going to focus on speed and get to and go. Speed being like running and moving with urgency the whole time, because you think you're moving fast, but you're not. I think why a lot of people don't do competition, because it's a little slap to your ego. You might be good or feel like you're good, or like you're good with your friends or whatever, but then you go in, you get your shit pushed in, and you're like, fuck me. But you know, it is what it is. You kind of have to take some of those licks to get an idea of like where you're at compared to other people. You know, and then you got to be fair to yourself and think that some of those people, like, this is what they do. Like, they dry fire a lot and spend a lot of range time and dump a lot of money in it. If you have multiple hobbies, or you have a family that you've got to spend money on, it's going to be limited on how much time and effort you can put into something like competition shooting. So, got to be fair to yourself. You know, if you look at your performance and say, hey, I moved fast and I shot pretty accurately, this scored pretty well considering, like, how did I stack up on other people? You can watch other people shoot that are in your same division or like in your group or whatever and see how they did, and you know, you can gauge like, oh, they did pretty good, or like, you know, they kind of sucked, and then you can kind of get a more, it's more about data collection than anything. You know, I'm not going to expect to come here and win against, you know, either, you know, you also got to think about, you got to stick to your division as well. You know, I can't sit there and compete with guys who do like carry optics or whatever when they have like red dots, mag wells, and whatever else they can have that give them a little bit of a mechanical benefit, right? You know, at a certain point, equipment does benefit you. Now, with that being said, you got to consider that you don't want to try to use equipment to try to fix issues. Like, you shouldn't be using equipment as a way to replace practice or skill building, right? And that's what a lot of guys do. Oh, like I do this, I shoot low to the left, so you know, I need to get a better trigger. It's like, no, you just fix your grip, you know, or whatever, right? Instead of throwing money at gear and equipment, throw it into your ammo and time and effort to practice. And then once you achieve a certain point where, like, okay, changing a trigger will make a difference in my performance because I'm solid within the stock criteria, the OEM setup I have. Now, a lighter trigger or better trigger will help me with my splits because I'm outpacing the gun or something like that, you know, but everything else is in order as far as like getting your sights on target, your reloads are good, you know, your grip is great, your presentation is solid and fast. So, again, being fair to yourself against other divisions, and also upgrading equipment based on you actually plateauing to where the equipment change is going to give you a little bit more of an advantage. For me, you know, like a red dot, I haven't started shooting red dots yet. It's an eventual thing just because it's a cost prohibitive, right? You got to get the mounting plates or the slides for the gun, you got to get the optic, you got to get holsters, all that stuff, right? And so I feel like once you got everything, that training plateau with optics, just like with a red dot and irons and a rifle, I can shoot a rifle fast with irons, but the red dot is just easier. So same kind of thing with the handgun, it's just a little bit different because it's a different platform. But you know, being fair to yourself as far as like comparing yourself to people in your division, and then using that data to better yourself versus getting discouraged, or the worst case is being afraid to step up and see how you do, right? Because you're around a bunch of people who you really might not know, right? Getting time, you got one go per stage, and then right, your scores are there, definitely on practice scores. So right, it's kind of there, right? And so some folks can't handle that. They can't handle it could potentially be a big L on being visible to a public eye. You gotta swallow your pride and just fucking do it. And you know, the best thing you can do to help yourself is prepare, learn the rules, and go out there and just have fun. It isn't gotta be a serious thing. Don't go out there expecting that you're gonna fucking win, because you're not gonna win. I'll tell you that right now, you're not gonna win. Especially if you've never done competition before, or you know, you just don't. Your training doesn't apply to the competition shooting, right? Bullseye shooting, slow bullseye shooting, not applicable unless you have that one target. But even then, you got to get in, get on the sights, boom, and then move. So, yeah, basically, don't be a bitch, but also be realistic and fair to yourself in comparison to other people and other divisions, and use this as a training tool to better yourself. And you should be competing against yourself first and foremost, and then if the benefit of you beating some people or doing better than you thought, that's a bonus, but it shouldn't be expected.